Hello and welcome to Pratik Chess Videos.
Hey just friends, today we are going to see a game between, who's today? Today is Shirov versus Leko. Sounds an exciting matchup. And it is an exciting matchup because the matchup we are looking at today is one of the best matchups of them. And now, without any ado, let's start the game. Game started e4, and now the game took on a Rosolimo c5. Knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, g6, bishop into c6, d into c6. Yeah, this is the main line. d3, bishop g7, h3, knight f6, and now knight c3, short castle. Well, now after short castle, there's bishop e3, b6, not queen b6, b6. Yeah, and now starts the fresh opening. Yeah, if you see, there are many games here, and here one game is played by Magnus Carlsen versus uh, Tigran Petrosian L. He's not Tigran Petrosian, he's Lubomir, and Petrosian is Lovich, so that's the difference of the middle name. Now, now Castro has also played this three times, and Caruana and Anand also played it. Yeah, on this line. So, wait a minute. Yeah. Now, what should we do? All right. So now, see. Firstly, here the thing is that it's not that nice for white in this territory because now white is getting thrown out of the picture way too much. So now, well, now it's played queen d2, e5, bishop h6, and now after bishop to h6, queen to d6, and then long castle, simple move, and now a5. A5, and now Leko is launching an attack. Yeah, and actually Leko has a lot of experience here because, well, playing this position because in none of his games he faced serious problem after the opening, and this one was not an exception, even against Shirov. Yeah, black here very correctly uses the sees the chances on the queen side, and he has to compensate for white's king side attacking potential. Yep, so now bishop into g7, king into g7, and now g4, and after g4, well, white's plan is obvious. It's to transfer the knight to g3. Yeah, but then it's not clear what to do next. Yeah, so it's kind of a two-way. So, Well, now after a4, knight e2 was played with the idea of knight g3, and after knight to g3, after instead of knight to e2, knight h4, b5 and f4 were also interesting. E into f4, knight f3, and the game continues here with here white has compensation for the pawn. Knight d7, knight e2, and here we can see white is slightly better. So, but in the game after a4, knight e2 was played. Yeah, and now after b5, knight to g3, and well, here d4, which might look a little bit tempting, here doesn't work because c into d4, knight e into d4, c into d4, knight into d4, queen to c5 here, which is a good move. Yeah, and oopsies, what is this? No, not this, not this. Yeah, here doesn't work because of this, and here it's pretty bad for white. Yeah, because well, see, after knight e into d4 you can't really take because of e5. So, but still queen c5 comes, and now it's still not so good. And if here after d4 here takes, if you play here e into d4, then e5, queen d8, e into f6, check, queen into f6, and after knight into d4, it's a little bit uh, slightly better. Well, so now after b4, so now after, well, b5, knight g3, now b4 was played, and now queen to g5. Queen to g5 idea here is to play knight f5, knight h5. Now attack is coming of white, but now comes rook to e8 with the sudden idea to play evacuate with king to f8, king e7 whenever you want. So now knight to d2, and now a3, bishop b into a3, h6, attacking the queen. Now queen e3, bishop e6, attacking the a2 pawn, knight b3, rook into a3, queen into c5. Now queen to b8, with here the idea of one idea is here obviously to play queen, and another one is obviously to take on a2, which is the main idea. So now king to b2, and now knight to d7, attacking the queen, queen to e3. There are still two games. One is this game, and another one is Figura Alexander versus Figura Ludmila 2002 versus 2188, which ended up in the same result. So now knight b6, idea knight a4 check, rook a1, c5, idea is c4. King to c1 and now c4, attacking the knight, attacking everything, and now d into c4, knight into c4. And now queen to e1. Now this is a pretty very bad position. And now on top of all this, black plays queen a7 trying to take here, and white has to take on b4. But now on top of the pressure on a2, black suddenly takes the pawn on f2. Didn't see it was hanging. Well then, Leko got you. So after queen into f2, knight f5 check, and now g into f5, g into f5. Well, now rook to c8 was played. Good move, typical grandmaster play. F into e6, and now knight to e3. Well, I don't know how to save this pawn. I really doubt we can save this pawn. Is seriously 1, 2, and 3 attacks. I mean, this is just becoming crazy. Yeah. So now, well, now what should you play? After knight to e3, now it's kind of tough how to play here because it's really tough. What can you do? Yeah, so it's really tough here. Mm, there's really no way here to continue because how can you even continue in this position? Yeah, so that's why I think it's. Wait a minute. Yeah, really, yeah. So now king to b2 was played in the game. Queen into c2 check. King into a3. We take a rook. Now rook a8 check. Queen a4, and instead of calmly just taking the queen and continuing the game, here usual grandmaster stuff. Shirov played queen. Leko played queen to c3. No words to say. It's just too good. And now after queen into a8, then knight to c2 check, king a4, and then queen to b4 mate. This game ended in a peaceful mate. So, well, but this game wasn't peaceful at all. An amazing game by Shirov. It all here started with this nice sacrifice. Actually, this all thing started here from a5. Yeah, this a5 move started it, and then just the attack came b5, b4, a3, and then rook into a3 came, then the knight came on c4, then the queen took on f2, white had to sacrifice a piece, then black did this nice move, rook c8 sacrificing his back, and now here takes rook a8, and now it was just over. Alright, this was the game. I hope you like this video, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. Thank you.